Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. Don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road, where we talk about the things that touched me this week, and hopefully we can touch you too. And we're going to do a lot of touching this Tuesday. We have a banger of a show lined up. What, John? You got a problem?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I kind of do have a problem. This drink is disgusting.
All right.
This ashwagandha thing, so
Sorry to hear that.
it's not good.
Well, enter at your own risk. I don't know what to tell you. So we have, I think, an excellent show lined up tonight. I'm very excited. But the first thing we have to talk about is, folks, tonight is the night. The Patreon is going live. Early bird special's over. The Patreon is up and running with 3 to 5 magnificent tiers for you to choose from. We've got a lot of fun, exciting new content planned. And so we're going to be talking about this a decent amount tonight. So we've got, I think, like what, five tiers? One is just if you want to support the show, you can join us our $3 Theorist tier. But then the rest of the tiers, we're going to be doing some bonus streams. The first one of those is already up and running, so check out that first bonus stream. We did a show with Tyler. It was phenomenal. Tyler's a great guy, so join the Patreon. Check that out. We've got some additional bonus streams coming up. I'm going to be doing a Patreon exclusive show once or twice a month. That's going to be really good. We're going to have some Patreon exclusive show reactions coming after our guest episodes. Those will be fun. What am I missing, John? Anything else? We've got the Crazy Uncle tier. That's going to get you most of our benefits. It's $5. Go join. It's $5. What are you going to get with more value for $5? Okay, an action figure for your kid. They don't need the action figure, okay? They're trying to run a psyop on your kid. Join the Patreon and take that $5 and join the Patreon. That's what you should do. Any benefits I'm missing, John?
No, I don't think so. You get some sticker packs when you join in and all of that good stuff, so be sure to check that out. We've got a whole bunch of new designs that we might run through at some point tonight, show you what
Yes, we will do those later.
Out.
Yeah, don't let me forget about those, though.
And then, no, I think for the most part you covered it all.
Okay. The only other couple things I want to point out is we do have what's the last tier called? I forgot. We have our bedtime tier. That's what it's called. Bedtime. Listen, for this tier, it's a steal at $100 a month. If you join, you will get all of our benefits. Plus, you'll get to see this lovely picture of Alex Jones in tinfoil pajamas, and we'll think about you at bedtime. What more could you ask for? Like, you'll get a text from me and John telling you we're thinking about you at bedtime. Is that not everyone's dream? I don't know. That's John, why don't you ever text me at bedtime?
Because I don't want to.
If I join this tier, will you text me at bedtime?
No, because that would be just fundamentally retarded. You just losing. I don't even know who you'd be paying $100 a month to.
We would, I guess, be splitting that at that point. So I'd be giving you $50 a month.
$50 a month. If you paid me $50 a month, I might text you at bedtime every night.
There you go.
Yeah, Neff Hunter, you are still. You get your shit. You get your all the bonus.
Should we start texting Neff Hunter every night at bedtime? Neff Hunter, do you want us to text you at bedtime every night? I will seriously consider that. I will legitimately, seriously consider that for being our first Patreon member. Your wife might have some problems with it. They might wonder who this strange person is who's messaging you, but I would be happy to text you at bedtime every evening if you want me to.
Yeah. So if you signed up for the early bird special, you're locked in at the $5 tier for $2 a month. That's going to be what it's going to charge you. You shouldn't be charged more than that.
If it does, let
us know, and we'll make sure to fix that. But it should just leave you at the price that you joined in. So to all of those who did lock in at the $2 at the early bird special, thank you. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a good time. I'm very excited. We have some fun stuff planned coming up later this month. I'm super pumped. So before we get into more of that, though, because we do have some fun segment ideas that are coming up soon, which I got a shitload of work and research to do for that. So that's going to be you're welcome, Nef Hunter. You're welcome for thinking of you. I guess I don't even know how to approach that discussion. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. So a lot of shit has happened this week on a lot of very touching stuff. So the first thing that I thought about when I started getting ready for this show was the State of the Union address that happened last week. I worked. John, can you make that go away? Thank you. Okay, that was truly awful there for a second. I appreciate that.
It's not like
it's not letting you mute it.
No, like something just froze up.
Well, that's a problem. Are we still live? Are we still going?
I don't know. Everything just froze on me.
Guys, if you can hear me, let me know. Somebody post in the chat if we're live or not.
Literally,
I can still see me, John. So I think we're still.
No, there we go. We're maybe catching up.
Okay.
Are we here?
Are we getting there?
I think we're here.
All right.
Move your hand a little bit.
I'm moving
All
my
right.
hand.
Enough Hunter says we're good.
Okay.
That's very strange.
Sweet. So when I was getting ready for this, the first thing I thought of was the first thing that got me this last week was the State of the Union address. Trump giving a talk about the state of our nation to a bunch of rich white people is already hilarious in my opinion. But is this the full State of the Union video, John, or is this just the short clip I put in there?
This is a short clip you put in there.
Okay, pull up the full State of the Union address real quick somewhere.
Okay.
So. Like I said, Trump giving a serious talk to a bunch of rich white people is already just laughable in the first place. Trying to talk about like how the country's doing, as if he actually has something to do with it. I love that. At least, we're still to some degree pretending that our presidents have jack shit to do with the actual day-to-day goings-on of the country. But one of the first things I noticed, because I went after the fact, I didn't watch it the night it happened. I went in after the fact to watch it. And one of the first things, I don't know how many people who listen to this have grown up in any kind of church setting, but I always thought it was fucking retarded when the guy who like runs the service is always like, please stand for this song. And then he's like, please sit down. And then he's like, please stand for this. Please, and you may be seated. And then please, it's like dumbass church calisthenics for old people. It always seemed so fundamentally stupid to me that we're just going to have people like randomly standing up, randomly sitting. Like, just let people stand or sit. Why do we have to have like this very strange, culty, like up, down, standing, sitting thing? It's very strange. And then even past that, we've reached a point in modern culture where standing ovations are too common. People give out standing ovations for the dumbest shit. I'm pretty sure the first time your retarded 2-year-old walked, people would give him a standing ovation. People go on stage and like every artist out there gets a standing ovation after they're too cheap, they're too easy. It's like a $2 whore in Las Vegas. People need to stop giving out standing ovations for every little thing. Every high school play I've been to, all of these sad parents give standing ovations to their dumbass kids after they're done just terribly acting in front of an audience full of 200 people. We've got to stop it. They mean nothing. But during, and get to the point where Trump starts to like the very beginning of the speech, John, during this, almost called it a show, during the State of the Union address, he gets up and like every other word out of his mouth, there has to be a pause for like half of these people to stand. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and it's only half of the audience, so it's even more stupid. Like, a standing ovation's dumb if only some people are doing it. It's just like this fully retarded pretend thing we have going on. Go ahead and hit play, John. Like this is so dumb.
That's the sound of an American
Son of a bitch. These ads are going to be the death. Guys, join the Patreon so we can get YouTube Premium. Just like a 2-minute applause break for no reason. Absolutely no reason.
From now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone.
Everybody sits back down.
The 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty
John,
and
what the hell are you
triumph,
doing?
progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
And everybody gives him an ovation again. Another standing ovation. Why? I don't know. I don't understand the way these people operate. I don't understand why they do it. Everybody just like stands up and claps.
When I
Even
last
though
spoke
he
in this
said
chamber
things like that a
12
million
months
times.
ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation.
Skip
at
ahead
record levels,
like 15
a
seconds.
Wide open 401k.
That was so much more than 15 seconds. That was John. What are you doing back there?
Sorry.
No one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
And standing ovation. Standing. Holy shit! He said, "Turn around for the ages." Everybody, stand up. This speaks. Go ahead and pause it and go to the other video, John. This speaks so much, as far as I'm concerned, to the complete tomfoolery that is going on here, to how fake this is, to what nonsense. Like, this is the kind of thing even normies going to their regular 9-to-5 job who believe that the government is a legitimate entity should understand. Like, these are the kinds of things that even, like, you're not tipped over libertarians get. Even your regular, like, run-of-the-mill Fox News watching dad who beats his wife and lives in central Indiana, right, in fucking corn country, knows that this is fake. Like, these people know this is fake. And the people who haven't caught on, I just don't understand how you haven't caught on to the kind of, like, dumb pomp and circumstance to the show that's being put on right in front of your eyes. And I thought that was borne out. I couldn't stomach watching the entire, keep wanting to call it a show. I couldn't stomach watching the entire address because it was just too nonsensical. But one of the things that happened is shit got a little bit wild when Daddy Trump, Donnie D, Daddy D, Donnie T, I can't think of any more names for him, decided to talk about immigration, and some people in the audience decided to express a little bit of their dissent. And I don't know, John, you've mentioned this on the show a couple of times. Like, we're starting to see the breakdown of a lot of the decorum that used to be a part of this, like, show that they're putting on for the people. We're starting to see that go away. And it used to be once upon a time at the State of the Union, everybody played cool, right? It's a big public event. Millions of people are watching this. Everybody played it chill, right? It wasn't these Congress events where Pam Bondi and Hillary Clinton are cussing out random staff. It wasn't that, right? It was a bunch of people playing it chill. Maybe they don't stand when everybody gives a standing ovation, and that's their big, like, that's their big middle finger. They're like, oh yeah, we're not going to stand. Everybody else is going to stand, but I'm going to keep my ass in the seat. Yeah, that's a fuck you. That's a Washington fuck you sitting in this seat. Yeah, I'm not going to stand for you. But a lot of that decorum has started to break down, and this has been too long of an intro. Let's go ahead and watch the video.
Legislature to join with my
Turn that up a
administration in
little bit, John.
reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens,
More standing.
not illegal aliens.
Okay. All right, pause it right here. Pause it right here. This is some silliness already, right? A couple of things. A, this is like the idea of like benefit events to raise awareness. We're essentially going to clap and pat each other on the back and jerk each other off, yet do absolutely nothing. It's like taking a stand for, like, kids with cancer. You're not standing for anything. Everybody said that kids have cancer. You don't have to stand up for kids with cancer. Nobody likes that. Okay? You're not a hero. You're just a person. Let me say that again. You're not a hero. You're just a fucking person. And so this whole idea of, like, we're all going to be brave and stand. We're all, if you believe that this country is needs to get rid of illegals and immigration, please stand. Stand. It's such a pointless, useless gesture. It's a useless concept and idea. And the fact that everybody's like, oh, hell yeah. hell yeah, fucking Donnie T, man, is completely insane. I do like it's like the way they talked about the Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings. They like just like super blunt, obvious statements, and they're like, hell yeah, and I think most people in politics are kind of the same. People are gonna come out there, get up, and say, today's a good day. And everyone's gonna be, hell yeah, it is. Yeah, today's a good day. This is a great country. Fuck yeah, today it's a great country. And like that's what these people do. That's what these people get off on. And so already we're starting this from a useless place. The other thing that really bothered me about this was immediately after the State of the Union address, I went to work the next day, and then I left and I met a couple of people. And one of the, I got to be careful because I think some of these people watch the show. But one of the things somebody asked me was, don't you think it's weird that when the president says we should get rid of illegal immigration and those people should stand, that some people don't? Like, isn't that weird? Shouldn't you stand? I'm like, I guess, like in a perfect world, that would be nice, But we're already starting from like a completely retarded place. None of this means anything. You're worried about people not standing at the State of the Union? You're worried about that? That's the thing we're caught up on? These people are eating children, and you're worried about them not standing around their rich friends in a conference room. Hillary Clinton fucked a kid, and you're worried about her not standing in the middle of this is completely ridiculous. So I just couldn't believe all of the hubbub around this, but there was a little bit of a kerfuffle, and so John, go ahead. I don't even know. Kerfuffle might be too strong of a word. There were some goings on, and so we'll continue to play and watch the decorum break down. That guy's pissed. Look at him shaking his head. All right, skip all this nonsense cheering, John. Gosh. Yeah, skip ahead a little bit if you don't mind. And then go, I think I gave it a timestamp in the Google Doc, actually. So Trump starts talking about illegal immigration, and he starts in on another discussion. And as these people are clapping, John, what is going on over there?
What?
There should be a timestamp in the Google Doc.
Oh, I did not catch that. I'm sorry. Oh.
So as he's continuing to talk about illegal immigration, people in the back have a few words to share. So go ahead and play it.
That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed.
All right, so allegedly, John, pause it. What are you doing?
I'm replying to Neff Hunter had a question. Keep going.
Allegedly, this is the most powerful man in the free world. Allegedly. And for some reason, this woman who very not ironically is in a what are those things called? A hijab, a hide your fucking face. I don't know what these things are, but she's in one of those in the back, and she starts screaming. All right, and we haven't even started talking about Iran yet. This lady in the back just starts screaming. We haven't even bombed anybody yet, and she's still pissed. And so this further illustrates the fact that everything there is breaking down, okay? 2 points of interest. First, back in her country, if that bitch had done that, somebody's punching her right in the mouth, okay? So you can get down on your knees and be grateful for the fact that you live in a place where that doesn't happen. Open your mouth on the street, you're getting slapped, bitch. That's gonna happen in your country. Maybe be happy you're here. Just a thought. Just a calm, simple thought. When you get home, when you leave to fucking drive home, remind yourself the fact that you can't do that in the country that your parents came from. So be a little happier about that. All right? Point 2, once upon a time, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. These people would have been very politely escorted out and told to fuck off if you raise that kind of a ruckus at an event like this. And so it just illustrates in a very clear way how much this system has completely broken down. And I mean, yeah, it's hilarious to watch, but it's very clear how much this is breaking down, how little importance a lot of these people place on this sort of thing now, which, you know, good or bad, it does represent a change, and those always make me a little nervous. But it's yeah, John, any thoughts?
I mean, not a ton. You've been you've kind of covered everything in your rants there. You know, I don't even know what to make. This has been breaking down for a long time, and like, you know, it used to be this type of like environment of pseudo intellectualism where they would like kind of pretend that they were smart, and they would pretend that they're dignified, and they talk in like, you know, pretend that they're high minded, but anybody looking under the faces realizes like, hey, that room is like, they're all retarded,
right?
And you don't have to do a lot of work to figure that out. They've kind of dropped that pretense, like, you know, like, I didn't watch this. I haven't watched the State of the Union in probably a decade. I don't remember.
Fair.
I think 2015, 2016. I think Trump's first one was the last one I've watched. So yeah, a decade. And I, you know, they're not even pretending anymore. And like this video has 40,000 views.
Once upon a time, that would have had so many more.
No one's paying attention to it anymore. It's like they've dropped the pretense because everybody else has dropped the pretense. So it's like they don't need to. And like they're not putting effort into this system anymore. They don't care about it.
That's a good point. And you know what makes me hopeful about that is the fact that they know people aren't paying attention to this anymore, so they're not pushing it in the same way. To me, and maybe this is me being optimistic, that does represent a change that the masses are having, the people like us are having, on the way this functions.
Right.
Like, they're recognizing the same amount of energy isn't being given to this stuff now. Maybe we should put less energy into it too. Maybe it's starting to fail.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also directed. I don't know. That's kind of a glass half full perspective, which is typically more me. But it does make you wonder if, like, you know, the efforts of people in our community to kind of shift the mass consciousness are actually starting to pay off to some degree. And maybe that's the case. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's a nice thought. It helps me sleep at night and not think about aliens eating babies or anything.
No, it's definitely directed. That's definitely on purpose. Like, they have shifted the culture of the political climate on purpose. They've made it retarded on purpose. That doesn't change the fact that, like, yeah, it's I've said this time and time again on the show, is that, like, as these societal systems start to fall, it's an opportunity to like pull people out of them. You know, people seeded their faith in all of this crap, you know, politics, you know, corporate America, the pharmaceutical industry, healthcare industry, all of this kind of corporate structured crap.
Yeah.
All of that's crumbling to the ground before our eyes. People's faith is going to have to like transfer to something. They're going to be trying to pull in whatever they want that to be behind this, right? You know, and we talked ad nauseum, and we'll probably talk more about it, you know, as time goes on, of what that might be. But it's an opportunity for people who kind of see reality as it is to shift people to where they should be going, shift people to the right direction. And I think you have seen a good bit of that over the past, you know, 6 months to a year. It's been kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it has been interesting, especially since 2020. And I know I've said that a million times before too, but we have seen consciousness shift a little bit, and that has been kind of cool. Like, that is one of the few good things. And you get to see ladies in hijabs yelling at the president, and that would never have happened 10 years ago, you know? And that's fun. It's fun. You can't say that that's not fun. The only thing that would make that more fun is if Trump got out from behind the podium, walked up there, and punched her in the mouth. That is the only thing that would make that more fun.
The only thing that would have made that more fun is if she would have started throwing shoes. right?
Oh,
Bring
I
back
forgot
the
about
old
that.
days. Bring back the early 2000s. It's like when
Throwing
you're,
shoes at
when you're a
Bush in
Middle
Iraq.
Easterner, when you're a Middle Easterner and you're pissed at a president,
You throw some
you
shoes.
throw shoes. You throw shoes.
People out there throwing shoes.
It's kind of a standard, I feel like. I feel like that's how it should work.
Forget throwing hands. We're throwing shoes, bitches. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, moving on. There was a bunch of stuff in the news cycle this week. We probably won't spend too much time on this, but everybody was up in arms. I don't even know what event he was at. I think it may say in this video. Everybody was up in arms about Jim Carrey's latest public appearance and saying, like, he looked different, he looks funny. Guys, a couple of things. A, Jim Carrey has allegedly, according to, like, the mainstream media, been off the rails for years. Maybe Trump should have gone up and grabbed her by the pussy instead. Yeah, that's a good point, Neff Hunter. That's hilarious. But Jim Carrey's allegedly been going off the rails for years. I don't know why people are suddenly shocked when it's this weird, creepy thing now. Like, he showed up at some event. He apparently looked different, looked strange, was acting funny. And I think this guy breaks it down a little bit. We'll listen and then talk about it for a second. We won't stay on this long. All right, so that killed the audio. That was alarming. And I read. Oh, well, we're back.
Does this have audio?
It does. Yeah, I listened to it earlier today. But even if it doesn't, that's fine. So just go. All right, you're trying one more time. If this doesn't work this time, of course it does.
This clip where everyone's like, that's not Jim Carrey. I mean, once you see it, you can't really unsee it here, guys. I mean, the eyes never lie, guys. This is old Jim Carrey. This is new Jim Carrey here. People are saying a clone, but it could just be some sort of mask.
It's going, John.
No.
Certainly very interesting indeed. The same eyes too. Those eyes just don't lie. Let me know what you think about this crazy conspiracy theory in the comments down below. Of course, this is just for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth.
Okay, shout out to Neff Hunter for this video because I think he sent us this one. But Jim Carrey's allegedly been going insane for a long time. But the official story, I looked this up earlier today, is that it was a makeup artist in a Jim Carrey mask they made.
Interesting.
That's the official story. And that it was some kind of fun prank they tried to pull on people. Now, one of two things is true in that case. Because the person that popped out looked good enough like Jim Carrey to fool my ass, okay? So one of two things is true. Either A, they're cloning people, and that is a clone of Jim Carrey that's acting insane, or B, they have masks and prosthetic faces that are so good it's hard to tell the damn difference. I would argue both of those are true. If anybody's ever seen, what is it, Mission Impossible, where they have those? Like, it's very clearly been a thing for a long time. It's like predictive programming type stuff. But, like, one of those has to be true in this case, and either way, that's kind of scary. If you believe that the people in power are who they say they are, right? Then they could just as easily be people impersonating those people. Okay? And that's alarming if you're a normie. But even if that's not the case, like, who knows what these people are doing with this kind of technology out in folks' everyday life? Who knows what kind of people are infiltrating your walk to work every day, or fucking infiltrating, you know, your job, your home, your church. Who knows what's going on with all of these stories about people who, like, you know, maybe have strange alien experiences, who get abducted, who go here or there. I think people would notice if those folks were missing for fucking hours at a time, right? So, like, what's taking their place? You know, what's taking their place? So, yeah, John, any thoughts?
Yeah, I find the story interesting. I know nothing about Jim Carrey. I didn't know he was going insane. But what I find interesting about it is it seems like it's at least some type of manipulative project to kind of get people to almost start looking for this.
Yeah.
You know, And it's like they made it just obvious enough for people who are maybe in a more, normie headspace who hasn't looked into like crap like Clonate or any of that.
Yeah.
To kind of see it and be like, what the hell's going on here? It
Yeah.
seems like it's another one of those type of veil breaking type of things.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of this weird, it's this weird trend is where they're trying to get people to like question what's in front of their face a little bit more than they have been in the past.
In the fat.
Sorry, I had a hair in my mouth.
No, I mean, I think you're right. And one of the things I think I saw somebody mention in the chat, like cloning people, really. And I know it sounds insane, but we're at a point with some of this stuff where like you have a logical binary choice. Either there's somebody out there in a mask and makeup who looks so much like that person it's uncanny, or somebody's being cloned. And if you look into like Clonate and that kind of thing, they've been cloning animals for a hell of a long time. You can just pay to clone your animal. Who says they're not doing that to people?
Yeah, like
for
fucking
one.
Tom Brady did that, I think. With
Yeah,
his dog
Tom
or
Brady
something.
very famously did that with his dog. And allegedly they've been cloning like animals since the 90s.
Yeah.
Everybody learned about Dolly the sheep in elementary school. It was a successfully cloned sheep.
Yeah.
And so, like, to say that they're not doing that in like weird deep state government, like black programs is for me like, okay, yeah, sure, they're not doing that, sure, but I get it. It sounds outlandish and insane, and sometimes I forget what kind of a schizo insane fuck I sound like on this show. Sometimes I forget about that, and so sometimes I need those reminders. So whoever put that in there, thank you for bringing me back down to earth. It's nice sometimes. But be that as it may, like if the real story's true and that was a makeup artist, that's terrifying. Yeah. Even that alone is, forget the idea of cloning people, forget all the Westworld predictive programming shit. Even if it's somebody who is in like some kind of weird prosthetic mask with maybe some makeup on, who's just doing like a Jim Carrey affect, that's still terrifying because that looked enough like him probably to fool a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's why I kind of hark on it. It's like, that story doesn't really matter if it's a clone or if it's some dude wearing makeup. It's like, why'd they do it?
Yeah.
What's
the point?
What's the point in that? It's like, yeah, they give the cover of,
it's just a joke.
Movie promotion as a joke, but these people, do unspeakable things to children. They're all evil people, so I don't want to hear their jokes.
That's a good point,
they clearly have, a agenda going behind it, and I just find it weird that they seemingly stirred up some type of noticing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? It's especially with all the disclosure crap. It seems like they're kind of trying to sow some sort of discomfort with, being able to trust what you see. And that bothers me.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe that's part of it, Who knows why they're doing it? Because there are a lot of weird things in that sphere ramping up right now. All the disclosure shit that's happening. It is strange, and it's strange how it's all coming down the pipe kind of all at the same time. That is super weird, to your point. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I just thought that was interesting, especially that coming out the same week of all of the other stuff that's going on. And so, what's this next clip, John? This isn't the one I had next, is it?
Oh yeah, I missed one. Sorry.
So this coming out, especially like the same week as the Eclipse, which did you go out and see it this morning?
No.
So I did. I was going to get up and go for a run, but I felt dehydrated, so I didn't. No, I woke up too late. But I did. I was up at like 5-ish, and supposedly the peak of the Eclipse was going to happen around 5:30. So I went out and took a look. And folks, I don't know if you guys have any kinds of feelings about the way celestial bodies work, okay? And we're going to get into all the occult symbolism behind this one here in a second. But I walked outside of my apartment and took a look in the sky, and unfortunately, running is gay. That's true. But I took a look up at the sky, and unfortunately, my place sits next to like a giant business that sells a bunch of shit. It's lit up all the time. This business is lit up all the time. And the moon was right over it, but I could still see it, and it was this like creepy, rusty, like bronzish color, and I've never felt like I've never felt any kind of way about like shooting stars or solar eclipses or anything like that. I walked outside, I looked at it, and my heart dropped. I could feel it in my stomach. It was the strangest sensation. It was the strangest feeling. And I don't know if that's a result of all the buildup that's going on around it. You know, if I've just heard all of that and I walk out and I feel that way, you know, because I've been conditioned to, or if it was like a legitimate reaction to an event that is occurring that has some significance. And speaking of significance, let's talk about what's going on with this one. So, I don't know how many people out there are familiar with occult symbolism, but they like to throw a lot of 33s in there, all right? And allegedly it's to make fun of maybe Jesus, but they like to throw a lot of 33s in things, 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. There are a lot of 30. If you look into like all the occult, there are a lot of 33s, 9s, 11s, all that shit. Anyway, so this eclipse occurred, the peak was at 3:33 Pacific time on March 3rd, 3/3. So at 3:33 on 3/3. Tell me that's not significant. Anybody who's looked into anything that's occult or esoteric already knows, like, there is some symbolism behind that. There's some numerology behind that. It's weird. It's just weird. The synchronicity behind that is too much to ignore, in my opinion. And I tried to ignore this shit for years. But the synchronicity behind you just can't ignore something like that, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this video, and then we'll roll on.
Oh, what the fuck?
Dude, what is going on with the sound tonight, man?
I don't know.
So, well, oh, did we get third time's a charm? One more time.
Third time was
Very
it's-
bad
there we go.
is getting
All
ready
right.
to take place. The amount of coincidences that align with this lunar eclipse
can't say
are literally
coincidences.
You can't.
impossible. So this
Coincidences.
lunar eclipse will reach its peak at 3:33 a.m. on March 3rd. That just happens to be the first day of the celebration of Purim. A celebration from when the Hebrews were spared from Persia, which is modern-day Iran.
It's Iran.
Shut up. And what's about to happen right now with Iran? And of course, Iran is allegedly holding Americans hostage now. The Bank of America mural. We know that Trump was born on a lunar eclipse, on a blood moon. We know that Trump is, in fact, the moon child. And they're saying he'll make his attack by Monday.
And speaking of this moonchild, they're now saying that they're entitled to run for another term. Remember when he said, like, you beautiful Christians, just vote this last time and
right.
you won't have to do it ever again?
So yet again, schizophrenic people and conspiracy theorists were right. Okay? And we're going to see that crop up a couple of times tonight. But any thoughts on this, John, before we move on?
Yeah, my thoughts are starting to change on this a lot.
Okay.
Garrison mentioned in the chat, it's like, what do you think you'd feel if you didn't already have a presupposition?
Right. And that's what I
And-
don't know. Like,
well,
you know.
This in particular, I noticed a lot of this. It's like this got real mainstream,
Yeah.
real fast.
Right.
Mentioning all of the symbolism, mentioning the 33s. It seems like there was an effort to kind of promote this type of fear in people. And I don't know. And I feel like the more and more as I'm starting to think about this and starting to think about noticing all the symbolism and the numerology and everything, is like, you know, especially if you're going at it with like some type of presupposed spirit of fear. Presupposed. I'm a retard. That's bad.
okay.
That's really, really bad.
Presupposed.
That's bad. Okay. To the point, when you're going at it with this spirit of fear, you're giving that some type of power over you. You know, is you're giving it some type of power and authority over you to kind of manipulate you. I'm retarded.
The chat's fucking with you already.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I deserve it. That's not good. But you get my point, right? Is like, I feel like the people who are kind of leaning into this from some type of like fear, something eerie's coming, some type of big events coming.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that in the past, right? A lot. And it's like you're giving that power whether something's going to happen or not, because you're just approaching it from this like fear porn based thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm starting to kind of shift my mindset on this a lot and get to where I'm gonna ignore it, because it's like, I think that's the healthier route.
Well, and that
on
could
all
be
levels.
Yeah, and that could be it. A couple of things I'll say about that, because that is a good point, and I don't know. Like, quite frankly, I don't know, and that's one of the things that frustrates me about this. And I thought about that this morning when I walked outside. I was like, I don't know if this feeling I'm having is a result of conditioning, that comes from being exposed to a lot of fear associated with this thing, or if it's like a legitimate emotion I'm having in response to something I'm experiencing, right?
Yeah.
And I can't tell a difference. Like, I would argue that a lot of the conditioning we experience on a daily basis is typically good enough and subtle enough that oftentimes, unless you're like super attuned, if you're retarded like me, you can't tell a difference. All right. And so it was one of those moments where I looked up in the sky, I was like, oh shit. And then I had a second like meta thought where I'm like, okay, is this a real emotion, or is this a result of some of the fear that's been pushed on me coming from this thing?
Yeah.
But past that, there is like a lot of religious text, biblical text specifically, that does talk about like the stars, the sun, and the moon being signs at the times.
Yeah.
And so you do have to wonder what's going on with some of these celestial events that occur. And, maybe there's no reason to be afraid. I'm not making that point. I am saying that you can, I think, infer, if you are a religious or spiritual person, that there's significance to these things. What it is, I don't know. And that's where I have a problem with like people trying to read into numerology or any kind of astrological event and say they know exactly what it means or where they should go. Because best I can tell, and not to sound arrogant, but like I'm typically a little cleverer than your average fucker on the street. Best I can tell, I have no clue what any of those mean. You're telling me you have any idea? I don't care how many Bible verses you've read. You have no idea what those mean.
Yep.
You can pretend you do, okay? But most people, I would argue 99% of people, have no idea what they ascribe significance to these events, to these numbers, and they have no legit. Maybe there are some people a lot smarter than me who are out there who know what some of this stuff means. I'm not one of them, but I would also argue all of these wieners and gonads running around saying, oh, this means this, oh, this means that. Fucking the moon's gonna be purple tomorrow, so we know that some son of a bitch from Somalia is gonna make an alien rise out of the... Like, you have no idea. Stop pretending you do. It's all fear porn. It's all trying to get people's attention, and it tends to lead people astray. So we can at least agree on that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't have any significance. It clearly does.
Yeah.
The whole point is like, you shouldn't fear it. Whatever its significant is, it's like, have no fear. If it's some type of revelation, type of sign, why have any fear? That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of my opinion on it. And if they're doing some occult ritual bullshit, why have any fear? Those guys suck, right? They're gonna they're all going to die in the end of all of this, very literally. Why fear?
And I mean,
I literally
it's a fair point.
And I slept like a baby last night. Didn't even pay it any thought, and I don't plan to pay it any thought. Going forward to any of this crap. I'm starting to realize it's a monumental waste of my time and very, very bad for my spirit.
I don't know. It was fun to go outside and look at it. Like, past the weird feeling, it was kind of nice. I walked outside. It was cold.
I'm sure it looked cool.
I got to look at it. It was a nice time. It was pleasant.
Yeah.
Outside of that momentary, like, shit, what's going to come down the pipe?
Yeah.
No, it was quite pleasant.
That's the stuff that I'm just, I'm fully content to leave that be. I'm not wasting any more time because I don't see the purpose in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're probably right about that for sure. And while we're here, I think it's a great time. Guys, you're going to notice a theme around this show, okay? And it's the fact that the Patreon hard launch is going on tonight, all right? On March 3rd. So we have some new sticker packs to present to you, the people, that we're very excited about, all right? And if you sign up for the Patreon, we're going to go ahead and mail you some of these stickers. And for the folks who are already patrons, we're sending some out. We have these sweet shields, okay? We've got one that's red and one that's blue. They're pretty sweet. We also have a Touch Me Tuesdays sticker. I'm very excited about this one. I haven't put it on anything I own, but I'm very excited about it. It has a picture of me talking shit into a microphone, and it says "Touch Me Tuesdays." So share this with your family, and then or your girlfriend, spouse, wife, husband, whoever you talk to. We also have a Veritas road sign that looks kind of dumb, but we have it, and then. This is the one I'm excited about. John, can we pull this up and make it big? We have a main Veritas Road sticker with the Twin Towers in the background, an alien, Epstein, and then I think the version we'll probably send out to our patrons has Donald Trump, I think JFK, and Hillary Clinton standing next to the Veritas Road words. I think it's pretty sweet. I don't think the people saw that, John, but I think it's pretty sweet. I don't know if the people saw it at all. There we go. Look at that. Who doesn't want one of those? Okay? Who doesn't want one of those? So sign up for the Patreon, and we will send you a collection of these. We absolutely will. We're going to have to cut. We're cutting them by hand currently, so it may take some time. We'll have a cutting party, which will be different than the cutting parties people had in high school, different than the cutting parties all the emo kids had, but we may have to have a cutting party at some point. Some lucky people may get just sheets of stickers, and you may have to cut yourself. Cut them out yourself. Cut them out yourself.
We're not assholes like that.
But
he is 100% joking.
We are.
You will get free cut stickers.
I just wanted to say cut yourself, or legitimately say it. Anyway, So yeah, we have those. I'm very excited about. I hope we get to make a T-shirt out of that big Veritas Road one at some point. But yeah, that'd be cool. Send a sheet. See, people like the sheet, John.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay.
People like the sheets.
Fair enough.
All right. Moving on. So yeah, the Patreon live right now. Go sign up. $3 a month if you just want to support the show. $5 a month. You'll get all sorts of benefits. The Discord chat. You'll get some bonus content. And then there are extra benefits that go up for there. Feel free to choose what fits your budget. Okay. But we have a lot more stuff coming that direction. Is this a good time to tease one of the new segments coming out, John, or should we wait? Should we do another ad break here in a little bit? What do you think?
Do your thing. You're running the flow.
We'll wait. We'll do another ad break here in a minute. We have another segment coming that I'm excited. I think John's pretty excited about it too. And so we'll talk about that here in a minute. But the other big massive thing that happened last week was, everybody say it with me, we bombed Iran. We finally bombed Iran, okay? We've been building up to that for who knows how the hell long. J.D. Vance has been talking about it, I think, since he was running for vice president with Trump. And so we've been building up to this for a long time. Now, why did we buy Iran? Bomb Iran? That's another question, okay? That's a complete other question. So let's go ahead and start listening to Trump announcing what's going to happen. Son of a whore.
That's a horrible place for that.
And also, this is at the same time that a significant portion of the U.S. military is in the Strait of Hormuz, which is right next to Iran, doing an exercise. You know how usually there's an exercise and then the actual thing happens? So check out what he just said.
Qatar, countries, nobody could have signed. You would have had that threat. Nobody could have had, you couldn't have had peace in the Middle East. So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days. But this meeting today is proof with determined leadership, nothing is impossible.
I can't help but find it slightly ironic that he's standing in front of a billboard that says Board of Peace while he's talking about the potential of going to war with Iran. Now, to be clear, I'm not pro or anti-Trump. I think that is what is designed to polarize the nation and much of the world, in fact. I actually don't think any of our elected officials are really the ones.
So this guy, when did this guy put this video out, John? February 19th? Schizophrenic people were right again. The conspiracy theorists were right again. I think people are finally starting to get tired of saying all the insane schizo bros have been right about everything. It's been happening a lot since 2020. Everybody just calm your tits and hand the reins over to all the schizophrenic people in your life because they're correct. All right? This guy fucking called it. Okay, and so that's point one, I guess. That's point one. We'll start there. Next on the list is the fact that I guess I had a retard moment. Let me back up, pause, and try again.
Refresh the screen.
Yeah, I got a little excited. So a couple of things I noticed as I was going through different news articles about what's going on in Iran are if you go to different news sites, everyone has a completely different headline that's like spun to make people feel a certain kind of way. Okay, like completely feel a certain kind of way. And so like Fox and John, go ahead and pull up like the next 3 or 4 links here. Fox, MSNBC, CNN, like they're all built to make you feel a certain kind of way. And we'll actually pause on that one that you just pulled up. I'm sorry. I know I'm being a pain in the ass here. But we'll watch a little bit of this one because this is hilarious. Once that ad ends, let me know. Yeah.
No.
But like everybody is spinning these headlines for division. The idea of Trump giving the talk about us going to war with Iran is made to divide people. Like that guy said, this whole thing is meant to divide people. You have all the blue-haired, they, thems, and probably some isolationist people on one side saying, why the hell are we out there bombing random countries, killing a bunch of people? And then you have all of your redneck, Bud Light drinking, dads standing in front of Fox News going, hell yeah! Hell yeah, we're going to go to Iran and fucking bomb these sons of bitches. Granted, that guy hasn't been able to get his dick up in 5 years, but he's very excited about the fact that some other people are going to go bomb Iran. So we're happy for him. He needs to get a little joy out of life. So let's go ahead and listen to this sumbitch.
News alert, Iran's supreme leader and more than 40 senior regime figures, up to 49, have been killed, eliminated. Let's turn to the wall right now to take a look at who they are and what they do. First off, the guys that are still alive. This is the guy that's pretty much in charge, calling the shots. He was the one who gave the order and executed the order to kill civilians, 32,000 plus.
This guy has such douchebag energy. Like, yeah, bro, we got this guy. He's the supreme leader. We got him, dude. He gave the order.
Related to the previous Ayatollah, the first one, Ayatollah Khomeini, who was presiding and leading during the hostage crisis. These are some of the others that are still around. These are the ones that have been eliminated. There you go, taken out.
Look at this giant wall of people who have been eliminated. Jeez. What is he doing?
I'm trying to make a point, but it's not letting me.
John, you're doing great. What do you have to say?
That dude,
just pause it.
Well, he keeps making it where you can't see it. He's standing in front of it now, so that dude's not real. That is not a real fucking photo.
Yeah.
Khomeini over there is still around. We're going to see who the next successor is. They plan on doing that within the next 72 hours. But joining us now,
all right.
So somebody that might be.
Okay. Before we're stay on this, John, for a second. Before we move on. The weird way that this bro of a news anchor is out there like, yeah, bro, so we got these guys. These are the guys we got. Dude, we've got another supreme leader over here. They're going to get him next. Is very I feel like I'm rushing a frat when I'm listening to that. I feel like some douchebag in a wife beater and a backwards flat bill is telling me to come do a keg stand behind a house full of underage girls. Like, that's the way I feel when this guy is talking, okay? That's what I feel like he's trying to pull me into. And it's very strange. It's like trying to get people on board with this thing that people are obviously going to be upset. Like, why are we bombing Iran? What's the reason? I don't think anybody has an actual legitimate reason. There are people who are going to throw out the whole idea of well, they had nuclear weapons, and we had a problem with them having nuclear weapons, so we had to bomb them building weapons of mass destruction. Which, I mean, don't even get me started on whether or not nuclear weapons are real. But why are we allowed to have them, but they're not? Right? Allegedly, we have them, but Iran's not allowed to have them. It's very, very, very retard logic. Okay, but we decided the mainstream argument is we decided to bomb them because they had these weapons. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, it doesn't make it. We have no reason to bomb these people other than wait for it. We've been waiting for it all night. Ring a bell. It's the first time we're talking about them. Israel wanted us to. Okay, these blue sons of bitches wanted us to, and so we decided to go over there and just drop a few tomahawks. All right, it ain't nothing. It's your typical Thursday. We're just gonna fly some planes over there and drop some tomahawks on these sons of bitches, and it's gonna be fine, okay? We're gonna lose a couple hundred civilians, but that's all right. There's gonna be a little bit of waste, all right? All right? You gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet, okay? It's fine. It's fine. And so Fox had this brilliant idea. They were like, hey, let's get the exiled prince, the alleged exiled prince of this country, to come on and talk about them. Let's listen.
Leading Iran in the future, and his family has led Iran in the past. Let's bring in Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince of Iran. He's making his pitch to lead the transition to democracy, pledging free and fair election. Mr. Pahlavi, thanks so much for joining us. Your thoughts, your thoughts right now at this hour. We're 48 hours in.
First, I want to share with you the sense of jubilation that millions of Iranians and the diaspora around the world have celebrated the death of the top henchman or monster of this regime, Ali Khamenei. And we thank President Trump for having brought us to a point of thinking that now we have a real chance to take over our country. This intervention was really what equalized the playing field for us. This is something we've been arguing all this time. People were asking for this intervention. The intervention did occur. So now we believe that the end is very near, and the opportunity to take our country back and bring it back to the right path is now available.
You're telling me that a guy who was exiled from a country doesn't have anything good to say about the people who were running it? Really? What a wild thought! Oh my gosh, you're telling me the people the bouncer kicked out of the club don't like the guy who kicked their ass as he walked them out of the... You're telling me that happened? Oh my goodness! How shocking! How fucking shocking! It's completely ridiculous. Sorry, John, I'll try to be quieter.
Just move the mic like an inch off your...
Yeah. All right. So, turn it up just a little bit. I can't quite hear the way I was. So like that's already like a ridiculous concept. This whole idea that we're gonna get this guy on to talk about what's going on with his country of origin, but like he was exiled from there likely for a reason. I mean, look at this guy. Is there any way he didn't fuck a kid? Is there any way he didn't? Look at his face, okay? That guy clearly had a party at the island, all right? Clearly had a party at the island. And he said, and this weird, like, we would like to thank President Trump for everything he is doing for the... We are very grateful that President Trump sent a plane to kill a bunch of people. I don't know why he's Russian, but sent a plane to kill a bunch of people so that we could take back our country and have a Rothschild blank there. We are very grateful for that. We're very grateful for these things. None of us know if that's true. No one is Iranian, right? None of us have any clue what's going on. Like, this is such a ploy to try to get the people who are going to watch this and think, oh my gosh, hell yeah, let's go over there and bomb them, to get their attention, to capture their fear, to capture their anger at the fact that they didn't have any girls interested in them when they were in high school, okay? It's such a ploy to get those people on board with this bullshit idea. Didn't Trump run on a whole campaign of like not having, wasn't that the whole thing, is like we need to get people, we need to stop having these pointless wars? Yet this is where we're at. We're bombing Iran again because our blue-starred friend to the west or east, wherever the hell that place is, decided we needed to. How ridiculous is that? That's insane. That's completely insane. John, any thoughts on this? I know you love yourself some geopolitics.
I mean, not so much anymore because it's all just fake and gay. I don't know. I can sit and talk forever. It's like they're clearly trying to get people to notice the J's and all of this. They insert it everywhere.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed it's like, even like that guy said, it is like we're in the end times or whatever. He kind of subtly dropped that in. I feel like it's just another type of instill a spirit of fear in people in the way that they've kind of talked about this, especially as they've linked it in with all of like, the blood moon shit that was going on yesterday from, the video we watched earlier. It's just, they're trying to just hearken this kind of some type of Armageddon type fear. Is like, I've seen them throwing that kind of term around in the narrative of this into the masses. And so, my perspective is just like, yeah, it's shit, dude. That thing is terrible. Sorry, he's drinking a very crappy drink. My perspective has been to just like, fuck that. Fuck these people. I don't really want to engage with it any way, shape, or form. I know the emotion that they're trying to instill in me.
Yeah.
I'm not engaging with that crap because I'm not going to go down the bullshit road of geopolitics, that
Right.
Dave Smith and Scott Horton and, Daryl Cooper, all those guys will go down and unpack all of the narratives at play and all of the strategies and all that. And like, those are smart guys. They can do that. It's all pointless, right? It's two sides of the same coin fighting each other and, killing a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah.
I don't really know what more you can say about it than that. It's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're exactly right. And I forgot, like, could that discussion that guy's having about, well, we killed these 3 or 4 guys and then these 3 or 4 guys, could that sound any more like propaganda? Like, I don't know that I've seen a news story yet that sounds just more like it's making an effort to propagandize the citizens. Yeah. Right? It just seems like such an obvious ploy to propagandize people. So why even pay it any attention? It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, and we've hit a point to where it's like you can't even figure out if any of this is real.
Right.
I can't tell you how many videos of shit blowing up I've seen on Twitter over the past 4 days. And I probably have seen those before, like 10 years ago,
Maybe.
Like,
yeah,
maybe. How can you make any determination, with the way AI works, especially whatever these, sadistic motherfuckers have to actually put some of this content out? It's like, you can't make any determinations on any of this.
No.
You can't, like, determine what is reality and what's not.
Yeah.
All that's going to happen to you is you're going to be sucked into some type of deception. It's probably going to be spiritual in nature. They're going to get you into this, state of being that you're not supposed to be in.
Right.
And they're going to manipulate you. I don't even know how they're going to do it. I just know that that's the point.
Yeah.
So fuck
exactly
that.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but it's like, I know that.
Yeah.
And I know just to avoid that crap at this point.
Right. So to that point, speaking of the idea of propaganda, go ahead and pull up like the next 3 or 4 links. I know I mentioned that earlier. We're actually going to do it now. I was looking through different reports on what was going on over in Iran. And one of the first things I noticed was all of the headlines for these places are fundamentally different, and fundamentally different in a very significant way. Everybody's heard about the whole idea of like, hey, they're always trying to spin stuff on the news. They're trying to spin things. They're all different. John, that's the one you just pulled up. And it was very obvious looking at articles on this, how much these people are trying to get their typical person that they market their news towards to feel a certain way. Okay? It's very clear in the way these headlines are worded and the pictures they use to try to elicit a certain kind of emotional reaction. All right? And so let's go into a few of these just to really illustrate the point. First one. Yep. Go back. How, son of a bitch.
Oh, this one?
Well, whichever one you were on. So start with whatever one the first one was. It's fine. Okay. How can they justify this? Iranian deputy foreign minister on U.S.-Israel strikes. This is from CNN. All right. And quite frankly, this seemed like the closest to a neutral one of their articles. I don't know if it was this one or another one. Seemed like the closest to this one's obviously not neutral. This is obviously meant to make people wonder, like, how can anybody even justify dropping Tomahawk missiles on a bunch of civilians? I'm kind of with you on that actually. But moving on to the next one. So this is what is this, MSNBC or MS Now? I guess
Fox News.
This is Fox News.
This is the one you're looking
Okay, here it is. Iran conflict is Trump's hour of reckoning on many fronts. This is MS Now, trying to get people to feel like Trump's finally going to get what he's due after whatever goes on in Iran, okay? Completely different kind of spin on this story, still trying to get people to feel a certain way. Move on to the next one. This is Fox. Iran starts indiscriminate strikes across Gulf of Oman, hits shadow tanker tied to regime. Notice the lack of emotional language trying to get you to empathize with the people who could potentially be bombed here, and we're moving on towards trying to make people feel like they're part of the military. Maritime intelligence firm says Tehran is targeting commercial traffic. These sons of bitches are sitting in their underwear in their living room feeling like they're in real life Call of Duty reading this headline. Okay?
What the fuck is a maritime intelligence firm?
Dude, I don't know.
Stupidest term I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's completely retarded. All right, moving on to the next one.
Hey, yeah, one more. It's another Fox.
Trump says U.S. mission in Iran is ahead of schedule and vows to easily prevail over regime. I believe I have one from InfoWars, too. Where's that one?
You linked the Fox News article for that?
Son of a bitch. Okay. So, I think the Trump InfoWars one was war in Iran is the deep trying to mask Trump from realizing what's going on in the deep state. I think that was the one on InfoWars. So all of these headlines are clearly built, structured, crafted to get people to feel a certain way. This is one of those times, in my opinion, where you can very clearly see the Mockingbird propaganda machine that is mainstream media at work. You can see it working to essentially entrench the people who are in the camps that are typically a part of those news agencies right into where they typically are, right? We're going to make the liberals more liberal. We're going to make the conservatives more conservative. We're going to make it happen. And that's the way those headlines are structured, right? If you're the empathetic type, if you're the type who's, concerned about how everybody feels and just making sure everybody feels good, then we're going to write very emotional headlines that are going to make you empathize with the people who are potentially getting bombs dropped on them and murdered. And we're going to entrench you in the camp, that liberal camp. If you're the conservative type who's, you're a dad who drinks fucking Miller Lite at home while he's watching Fox News, and you feel like you're playing Call of Duty sitting on the damn couch, you're a part of the invasion to Iran, we're going to give you headlines that make you feel like you're a part of a justified assault on, a base that's building nuclear weapons. These headlines are clearly built to entrench people in the camps they're already in, to go ahead and deepen those allegiances to whatever nonsense political ideology these people ascribe to try to build more division. That's exactly what these headlines are built to do. And if you look at them all back to back to back, it's super clear. But if you just happen to see one, it's not nearly as obvious. John, any thoughts?
Yeah, that's how they work. It's how they've worked for essentially their existence. I don't know how effective it is anymore. That's the only thing I kind of hark on. It's I don't really, who's this working on?
Right.
Realistically, who's this working on? It's I feel like, the narrative, people have entrenched whatever they want to think about it very, very quickly, and it doesn't matter. This is happening regardless.
Yeah,
that's where I've kind of come to is this is whatever this thing is, whatever this government thing is. It's it moves independent of the opinions of the masses, right or left or whatever paradigm they find themselves in.
Right,
it moves independent of that. It literally does not matter how what these articles, how they manipulate people. It's going to move independently and do its thing regardless.
Yeah.
So it's I don't even see the point anymore. And I mean, I guess as we talked about earlier in the show, they're dropping all of that. So maybe, who knows? But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even really pay much attention to this anymore because it's they're going to move regardless. Because you said it earlier when you were talking about this is like, Trump ran on this whole idea of, we're not going to do any new wars. We're going to do the peacetime thing, and we're not going to do the George Bush era crap.
Yeah.
And all of, the vast majority of his supporters, 70-80% of them were behind that.
Right.
And it moves this way in spite of those people. They
Yeah.
have no power or control over it.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with? What are we dealing with? Is like this thing has become an entity of itself. And I think a lot of people have to recognize that is, I don't even know what to call it, but it's its own thing. It almost has its own consciousness, right?
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. And it moves on its own accord, right? And, the people don't have any control to manipulate it in any way or form. They're deceived that they do, and that's why they give it their energy and they give it their time. And that's not a healthy thing whatsoever, because it's, it seeds a lot of negative and spiritually very bad emotions into you. Especially the wartime shit, right? It starts seeding this nonsense where you can like justify just absolute,
where you can justify pretty much anything.
pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Absolute atrocities.
Right.
And I think people need to recognize it from that perspective. It's like, hey, this thing's moving on without you.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Well, and you mentioned like who is even paying attention to this, who's being swayed by this now. And I think one of the things that we can kind of be guilty of in this space, and I don't want to spend too much time on this thought, but like we kind of live in a little bit of an echo chamber, being in like the conspiracy truth community where we're only exposed
that's a good point.
to people of that world. Whereas there are a lot of people out there who still get their news, their shit from mainstream media, who that's where that comes from. And so I think there are probably more people out there that are susceptible to this kind of thing than you or I realize.
Yeah.
Because we kind of do live in an echo chamber of a lot of people who have similar ideas and opinions.
I mean,
so
yeah, that's a good point. The only thing that I notice of that is I don't see the reactions, and maybe this is just I don't have a good perception of what's going on. I don't see the reactions to some of the shit that I expect.
What do you
mean
by that?
I expect with the whole I expect some type of Iraq style reaction to this, to where either like the masses are going to have this massive garnishment of support, into patriotism, be like, support our troops. Yeah. Or there's going to be that, opposing kind of force against that. Like there has been for all of the other ones. And I don't know. I just don't really see like, when I'm out in kind of the normie world, I don't really notice that. Maybe I'm oblivious to it. I might be completely oblivious to that.
You're
I just
right.
don't see the same trends that happened in the past,
You're right to some degree because we haven't had a big false flag event, like say false flag. We haven't had a big event like 9/11 to capture the public interest the same way we did when 9/11 happened. Right? I don't even know if you were alive when 9/11 happened.
I was.
Okay.
I was a wee little lad.
Okay.
I was.
So we haven't had an event like that has occurred to really capture the public interest and push people towards really being obsessed with sending their 18-year-old sons over to die for a war that was built on a fake event. We haven't had a lot of that happening. And if we had, I think you'd see a much different reaction. But I don't know if it's people testing the waters. I don't know what it is, but you're not going to see that kind of like mass hysteria, mass obsession. You're not going to see that type of mass movement without a big traumatic event to really push the consciousness. I don't know if this is more of a flex to say, yeah, we're going to do what we want to in spite of the fact that the people aren't behind this. Like most of the people I talk to, be they conservative or liberal, like nobody's interested in doing more war type shit. People are tired of that. They don't want to do any more of it. What they are starting to notice, and you've talked about this a lot, are the blue-starred people behind a lot of this stuff. That's what they're starting to notice. And speaking of noticing, okay, allegedly, go ahead and pull up the next video.
Wait, can I hold you on that thought real quick?
What's up?
Could they not have done that with the Charlie Kirk thing?
What do you mean?
We had a massive traumatic event, and they had the opportunity to garnish a lot of like patriotic support, like Charlie Kirk, getting shot. It's like they could have garnered patriotism into like the right-wing movement. And they made a deliberate attempt not to do that. They made a deliberate
Yeah.
attempt to like shift it towards more of a like Christian nationalism thing. They made a very deliberate attempt to introduce the Israel narrative into a thing.
Right.
Like they had the opportunity to do it, to accomplish this, and they didn't.
They had the
And
opportunity to
I-
some degree,
yeah.
but God around God. But they didn't blame that on the right people. They blamed it on a faggot furry
Yeah, that's
who
fine. Yeah.
was and so if we have some issues with assumptions, I don't want to get too deep into this because it's gonna get real boring, but we have some issues with assumptions there. Like we're assuming that the narrative, like if we assume the narrative they gave us was true, then we can't blame it on a country to try to build this kind of frenzy behind going over there and bombing Iran, right? If we're assuming it's not true, then they made a conscious choice to blame it on a certain sect of people, right? And then that's a completely different discussion, but we don't really know which of those, like for sure, point blank, which of those is true,
Well, sure.
right? And so it's hard to make that determination. Could they have done it? I don't know, right? But we're dealing with a fundamentally different event. Like some of these mass, I don't know what to call mass. It's not a mass bombing. It's not a mass planing. Mass bad,
trauma was a good.
Yeah,
was a good
bad
term for it,
driving. I don't know what to call that. But these events hit different than one. Obviously, very tragic event hit different than one guy dying in public.
Well, yeah. I get. My point is like I think we both understand that they controlled how that narrative.
Yeah,
they controlled the entire way that it was shaped, from their official story to all of the pushbacks that hit it from every angle. And if they wanted to, they probably could have used that to manipulate the collective consciousness enough to get far more supportive into some Middle Eastern bullshit than they did, because there was tied into that, a massive amount of patriotism, right? That's what kind of Charlie Kirk was a symbol of for most of, especially young men. On like the conservative right, that's what he was a symbol of, and they could have manipulated that to this effect if they wanted to. And I'm just kind of now, it's a thought I had literally on the show, just wondering, is like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Why did you take it in the bent that you took it to, push more towards the Christian nationalism thing, push people to notice the Israel thing, and not just push it towards, getting your war for power in the Middle East, which that entire system loves, And I think that's something that people should maybe consider.
Yeah, no, I mean that's an interesting point, and it's hard to know.
Yeah.
But that is an interesting point. I don't know. That was yeah. So speaking of the kinds of people we're starting to notice more, the kinds of people who bombed Iran. Okay, two forces bombed Iran. All right, the United States and Israel. Now, the United States is obviously, like, allegedly a world superpower. We're supposedly the most powerful nation in the world and the most powerful free nation in the world, because you're still free to go out and work a job and be just like an American citizen and live the American dream. And we're excited about that for some fucking reason. Anyway, the other country that allegedly bombed Iran and was running military operations, high-level military operations, was a country that was allegedly full of these people.
Oh, sorry. Son of a bitch. My bad.
Go ahead and restart that, John.
Instagram doesn't give you the opportunity to do that as well.
No, son of a bitch.
People can read.
Yep.
In today's episode, we're going to be hemming my son's sweatpants.
We're
First,
going to be hemming my son's sweatpants.
So you can try them
Kill
on with
this.
shoes.
We're going to be, welcome back to Do It Yourself. We're going to be hemming my son's sweatpants while my wife makes a gefilte fish. Yeah, we've got a brisket in the, these are allegedly the kinds of people who own your government and are running high-level military operations against Iran. Now, does that seem like it's true? I don't know what's behind these sons of bitches, but it's not guys like this who were hemming their tween's pants for his bar mitzvah. Okay? It's another thing entirely. Satanic? Maybe, but it's another thing entirely. I just think it's funny that this guy has an entire channel called Jewish Yourself, where he finds ways to do things but make them cheaper. And I think that's great.
That is kind of funny.
I think that's great. Speaking of value for money and cheap things, we have just launched the Veritas Road Patreon. Go check it out. $5 a month. If you sign up, you'll get a sticker pack and a bunch of other cool shit. So go check that out. Join the Crazy Uncle tier. It's $5. You're going to get unedited streams. You'll get a Discord chat. You'll get a sticker pack. You're going to get what else, John? I can't even read that from here.
Yeah, you're going to get some live post-show reactions from us for our guest episodes, which I'm very excited about. And let's see. Some bonus streams, sticker pack, Discord chat. You covered all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So go check that out. Join if you have an extra $3 to $5 a month. It's a good time. We have some new segments. I teased. We've got a new segment coming, right, where we're going to talk about some more like serious academic shit called Suits Me. And I'm very excited about this. I can't even remember what our next one's about. But we're not sure if that's going to be Patreon exclusive or not. But if you join the Patreon, you're definitely going to get a lot of notifications and discussion around that show. We've got that. I think we're going to film that here in the next couple of weeks. Very excited about that. So do check that out. John, you're looking at me funny.
No, I was just saying, it's like those are going to start out, I think, as pre-recorded, but maybe in the Patreon, you might get access to those live.
Yeah.
Very soon. But the first couple are going to be pre-recorded.
So they'll be in there, is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
So, moving on. We have the show, in keeping with trying to make the Veritas Road grow a little bit to try to do more streams, we actually have a new show sponsor, and we would like you to hear a message from the new show sponsor. I'm sorry if you're just listening, it is accompanied by a video, so let's take a look.
I'm very concerned about this. I don't know what this is.
Go ahead and unmute it.
Gay. Way. Gay.
Guy.
Gay.
Gas.
Gay.
Pay.
Gay.
Gup.
Gap. Gay.
Ray.
Gay.
Gay.
Okay, listen. I don't have a ton to say about this other than the fact that I love that this guy's doing this. We found ourselves in a world, in a society, in a place where doing something like that, being that honest, being that real is completely taboo. And I love the fact that that guy has the cojones to go out there and just be like, yeah, that's gay. What a faggot. And simply just say it. I think that's amazing. And not even worrying about what it's going to do to his business. I think Nick Cannon just did an ad for them, by the way, which I think is amazing. I think awesome. That's amazing. All right. So, this guy, and we've been going for a little bit, so I don't know if we need to watch this whole video, but go ahead and play it. Can you mute it and play it, John? This guy essentially, which another shout out to Neff Hunter for sending us this video. This guy,
you just want this guy talking silently?
Yes, okay. And we'll unmute it if we need to. This guy essentially goes on a lengthy discussion about the fact that your phone may indeed be like a scrying mirror. So that thing that he's pointing to is a scrying mirror. Those are allegedly used for like communing with demons and seeing the future and seeing other places and shit. And it just makes you wonder, like, what is really going on with a lot of this technology that's handed to you? I think we talked about it a lot on the AI episode, but none of us really understand, or a lot of us really don't understand. If you're an idiot like me, you don't really understand what kind of shit is going on in this little black box that's handed to you, right? That you have to engage in society. This little black box that you have to have a job, to have a family, to have friends, to have community, to have anything. We don't understand. Go ahead and kill that video, John. We don't need that anymore. We don't understand what's going on with this little black box that you're required to carry around with you nonstop all day, every day. And how weird is it that if you have a 2-year-old walking around and you're a parent, that 2-year-old is suddenly just like obsessed and focused on the phone you have in your hand, not on anything else, not on any of the toys you spend a retarded sum of money buying, not on any of the shit grandma and grandpa got them for Christmas. They're focused on this weird little black box you have in your hand. How weird is that? And who knows what kind of control, manipulation, what kind of shit is coming through that screen. It's so alarming, and I'm not going to get rid of my phone. I don't expect anybody else to, but it does make you wonder what kind of technology and power is in this thing. What kind of power you're handing over to people every time you open up that weird black screen. It's alarming. John, you look like you have some thoughts.
I mean, yeah, a couple. I've kind of been thinking is, the way all this shit works is probably magic. As stupid as that probably sounds,
it does
it's
sound
like you're
retarded.
talking about like manipulating, things with invisible forces. Like that's, you take science out of that. That's freaking magic. That's what most people would think that is. So, obviously I view a lot of like institutional science as a religion, and this is just probably their form of some type of magic. I don't know. People don't think about it. People don't really know how it works, yet we're just told it works because of science.
It works because of science.
And you should accept it. And that's probably not true.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all we need to say about that. It works because of science, and that's all you need to know. So we started out talking about the lack of decorum that is going on in the modern healthcare industry. And I think that is well borne out in the way that former venerable First Lady Hillary Clinton reacted to discussing the Epstein files. Let's watch as she reacts.
Oh, I'm probably gonna have an ad.
Okay, so
yep, I'm gonna have an ad.
Sorry. Just it is amazing how much this process has deteriorated over time, and we see that in people who used to at least pretend in public to be like these statesmen, these people who always had their composure. Like Hillary sat there stone-faced after her husband got blown in the Oval Office. Okay? She was like super chill about that. Like super chill. And this is how she reacts now after some of the discussion from the Epstein files comes out. Let's take a listen.
Excuse me, can I interrupt?
I have
There
another.
are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos,
Go ahead and
that are
skip it a
being
little ahead a little
released
bit,
of the
John. I want
secretary
to
as
hear
she's
that Muppet
testifying,
talk.
Can you please explain how invite the press in, since the committee had already made decisions on its own unilaterally to release pictures and other things that are going on in this room? He indicated that he wanted to speak to that himself directly. I'd like to just say for the record.
Look forward to continuing the
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate
Nope,
you
too far.
addressing
Way
this.
too far.
Thank you, member.
Doesn't look like she talks in this.
Do it in
She
that
definitely
vein.
does. Go back
I'd
some
also
more.
like
I think you skipped ahead too far.
He wanted to speak to that himself
Yep,
directly.
before
I'd
she
like
gets
to
up.
say for the record, we find it
Right there. Nope, nope,
of the
nope.
sec-
You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
and
I'm,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Okay, so we have this very charming lizard decide that she is done with this discussion and get up. Now, let's discuss how this perhaps should have gone. Okay, so just to give people a little bit of context, somebody took a photo of the ex-cuckold of the White House and posted it online. And she's upset because somebody took a photo of her during a deposition. Now, why she was upset about that, I really have no fucking clue, because that seems strange. And the reason it seems strange, let me parse this out. She's in the middle of a hearing about, and I realize this is not a big allegation for people in her position, and maybe this isn't as sensitive of a subject as it used to be, but she's in a hearing about trafficking and sexually abusing and fucking murdering children. Okay? Yet she's upset because a photo of her might get put out on the internet. I don't know about anybody else, but that seems a little bit strange to me. And so I imagine, what is the internal narrative like? You know? Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I understand that I'm on trial for potentially being friends with a pedophile, and I understand that that's very serious, but I would like to be here to discuss the photos of me eating children and murdering children, and the photos of my husband fucking 15-year-olds and getting blown in the Oval Office. And I'm really upset about the fact that there are photos of me here that are being put out on the internet in a full suit, not with a child in my mouth. I'm really uncomfortable with that. So if we could fix that, what kind of insanity is this? This is what this bitch is upset about? She's being allegedly drugged through the coals in all these files. And yet we're upset because somebody put a photo out on the internet. I just don't understand why and what's going on here. John, can you make any sense of this? This doesn't make any sense to me.
And it's not designed to, man. It's not designed to. They have designed this entire thing to just be a shit show from start to finish. You know, I've said it on the show, and, you know, you can go and find many people saying this. Is like, if any of this was, you know, like real in the construct, is like there's real justice being pursued for whatever, you know, atrocious crap happened on that island, there'd be people swinging in the street.
Yeah.
That's the only appropriate response to it.
There is
people swinging in the street. Not having some, you know, closed door deposition hearing. Now tell us exactly what happened, and then we'll figure out the appropriate punishment. Is no, you swing in the street.
Right.
You know.
Now,
so the evidence that they're bitching about, you know, a photo going out on the internet of one of these private closed door things, it's like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like there is not, like, they're not handling this in any real way, shape, or form.
Right.
And I don't even know what to do with it. It's one of those things that I think you have to get disengaged from a lot, because it's like you'll get, you know, the reaction that you were talking about. It's like, what the hell, you know? And it's kind of what they're trying to instill in you. And ultimately, I think it is to kind of instill a very chaotic shift in society. You know, I think I think the shoe is going to fall at some point, to where this is going to be a catalyst for a lot of people losing faith in these institutions. And then what comes after that, I don't know.
I mean, who knows?
But I do feel like that's the point of putting this type of crap out.
Yeah, and maybe it is. I just imagine, like, the whoever is leading the deposition and asking questions, just looking at Hillary and being like, now, where were you when you fucked the children? Where were you when you abused the children? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good? Where was Bill? Oh, you guys were next to each. Was it a bonding moment for? Like, what kind of discussion are they having during this hearing? It's so weird. It's so very strange that we've made it to that point in society, as a country, whatever pretend social construct you want to talk about. Like, who knows what's going on? It's very strange, very strange. And how do you even have a hearing with like decorum around the idea of this? I don't know what to call it. This lizard, this demon. Whatever Hillary actually is, she's not a person. She's similar to a person. She's adjacent to a person. But whatever she actually is, like having a hearing about her and trying to ask rational questions to her face while her second eyelids blink. Like, how do you do that? I don't understand how you do that. It's a very strange thing to even attempt to do, I guess good for these people for not just bursting out laughing in the middle of the hearing. I don't know what else I would do, but it's very odd. It's very odd, and I guess that's really all I had to say about it. So, we've had some fun tonight. We've talked about Iran. We've talked about the moon. We've talked about clones, eclipses. I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff. So to close, I just want to say to our audience, there has been a lot of super interesting stuff going on. Go to the last one, John. We'll save this one for next week. There has been a lot of interesting stuff going on with the food pyramid, especially since RFK took over as the leader of Healthy Human Resources. And I know the shift in the food pyramid has shaken things up a lot. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's very interesting. But this guy had some comments on RFK's food pyramid and what should be at the top of the list as far as things that you shouldn't consume goes. And I realize he doesn't look the part for somebody who's particularly healthy, but I think it's good to hear him out. It's a very interesting thought on the kinds of things you probably shouldn't put in your mouth in order to be healthy. So let's listen.
These are the top 3 foods you need to keep out of your mouth if you want to stay healthy. Number 1, gun. These are the top 3 foods you need to keep out of your mouth if you want to stay healthy. Number 1, gun.
Guys, who of us can argue with that? All right, if you want to be healthy,
got a point.
If you want to take care of yourself, keep guns out of your mouth. It's a good idea. It's good advice. It's good dietary advice. Honestly, I think it's very good dietary advice. So I support this young man.
What diet would you call that?
I don't know, John. I don't have an answer for it. I wasn't ready for questions on this. Wasn't prepared.
Sorry.
So yeah, good dietary advice for folks. Take that into the rest of the week. Be healthy. Live a healthier week than you did last week. So, all right, folks, it's been a lot of fun tonight. Last thing, I guess we'll go over what we have coming up. We should be having an episode with Sixth Sensory coming up sometime in the near future. We had to reschedule it because we're retarded. So we are working on rescheduling that. That should be coming up sometime in the next month or two. We've got an episode, I think, coming up Thursday with Tyler. Look for that. That one's going to be a lot of fun. And then we ideally have a watch party coming up this coming Saturday. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, sometime this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then a lot more stuff coming up regarding new segments and new shit we have planned. We have the Suits Me show coming sooner rather than later. We're live every Tuesday for Touch Me Tuesdays. And guys, if you like the show, want to support the show and enjoy the content, go check out the Patreon. That is live tonight. You're going to get some bonus episodes. The first one's out there now. Go join the Patreon and watch it. It was absolutely phenomenal. We did a show with Tyler. It's amazing. Tyler's a great guy, has a lot of interesting stuff to say about his own personal spiritual journey, and I think that can be extrapolated to a lot of people's lives. So go give that a listen. A lot of super interesting stuff to say. So you're going to get bonus episodes. We're going to start doing post-show reactions on here. Those aren't going to go to YouTube at all. So join the Patreon, get those, where we talk about our guests. Maybe we'll talk some shit about our guests. We don't know. We never know what's going to come out of my mouth. So go join the Patreon and find out what we have to say about the people we talk to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll get access to our Discord. We're trying to engage with that chat more. I'm terrible about being on any kind of group chat, but I'm trying to be better about it. Anything else, John? What am I missing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it. Like, if you joined in the early bird special that was running for the past month, you're locked into the $5 tier at the price you paid. So thank you for doing that. Be sure to subscribe on Rumble, follow us on Twitter. That's where we'll be doing watch parties. They'll probably go to Patreon at some point as well.
Yeah.
Can't do them to YouTube because YouTube sucks. But we'll be doing those over there, so be sure to check those out.
All right. Well, that being said, go check it out. A lot more fun, interesting, cool shit to come. So stay tuned for that. We'll be posting about it. We'll keep you guys aware of the dates and when those will be dropping. And guys, thanks for listening. Guess that's it for tonight, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.